Top of the morning, fight fans. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I just got through watching a video with Dillion Whyte. And one thing about Dillion Whyte, he was adamant on fighting Deontay Wilder. He states that Deontay Wilder was ducking him. That's not really a big surprise because Wilder did refuse to fight Dillion Whyte, calling Dillion Whyte a peasant. But the thing that what interests me about this video is that Dillion Whyte actually had footage, like actual tangible evidence that Dillion Whyte said he'll make him wait 2 years because he doesn't have to fight him. Okay. And he pulled it out in front of everyone and showed everyone like, hey, I don't have to fight you. I'm not signing that. And honestly, I don't have to do nothing for the next 2 years, and see, this is the problem with boxing. Okay. For Dillion Whyte on his behalf, I can understanding him wanting to get in the ring with Wilder because he's already tried out for the other belts when he fought Joshua. And that was just like, a good fight. It was a good fight because those guys just went at it. Whyte beat Joshua in the amateurs, and then Joshua went back and knocked him out, but he did hurt Joshua with a left hook, that savage left hook that he loves to throw so much, the same left hook that put Parker, on the seat of his pants for the first time, you know what I mean? And, he does have power, that left hook. So it was a good, exciting fight. They're talking about fighting again, but, this recent video about Dillion Whyte showing everyone that Wilder ducked him, that Wilder said, hey, you're going to have to wait 2 years. That is an example of what happens in the boxing game these days with fighters. Okay. They fight a fighter they fight that one fight, right? Like he fought Ortiz. Ortiz was that test, was his real test. But guess what? It was his only real test. And they fight that one fighter. And then after that, they feel, okay, now I want the best guy. Now I want this. I want that. Now I'm demanding everything. Look at Errol Spence. He fought Brook. Okay. Another example. Now all of a sudden, he wants to, fight the top guys, or he wants to do this and, or I'm the best or whatever, look. The problem with that is, if you haven't been tested, if you haven't earned your shot, then why are you claiming like you're the best? And there's too many people that's done that. Okay. Wilder beat Ortiz. He gets full credit for that because Ortiz is a dangerous fighter. Ortiz is Ortiz is that guy that was avoided by many fighters. Okay. But Wilder took him on nonetheless. He beat him. It was an exciting fight. He was tested, but for Wilder, I feel, even though I feel Wilder would beat Whyte, Whyte is still a test, and the other problem with boxing is today is the Mayweather effect. Mayweather convinced every other fighter that if you lose your O, you're not marketable anymore. Your name is shite. You don't matter because you lost your O. You're not even marketable to the degree that you could be if you still had your O. You know what I'm saying? If you have a defeat, okay, that's stigma. You know what I mean? So that's the problem. And everyone has followed the same doctrine to the point where, well, he has a loss. See, Whyte has a loss, right? So the excuse then is put into place. Okay, you can't fight Dillion Whyte for $5 million or $7 million to fight Dillion Whyte because Dillion Whyte was already beat by Joshua. You know what I'm saying? So that's the problem, where it's still another test. I think Deontay Wilder with his speed and his power would beat Dillion Whyte. But here's the deal. I can't say that for sure until he does it. That's just my prediction, just me looking at that fight, the length, the height, the reach. the speed. You know what I mean? Dillian Whyte has been cracked before, has been put down by Joshua. You know, Wilder does have that power. So more than likely he probably would, but we don't know that for sure until he gets in there. See, it's easy for someone to look at something and say, yeah, well, he'll beat him anyway. But then that would be a good fight to make. That would be a good barometer for him fighting Joshua, because now you have a common opponent. You know what I'm saying? So for Deontay Wilder thinking, hey, I don't have to fight Dillian Whyte because I've already paid my dues by fighting Luis Ortiz. You could argue that. But at the same token, who else have you fought besides Luis Ortiz? Stavern don't count. Okay. Who else have you fought that was like, hey, man, this is a good fighter besides Luis Ortiz in all them fights? Now, that's the one ridicule Wilder will always get, is because now in 2018, you have finally fought someone with a name. That's the difference. You know what I mean? And the thing is, Dillian Whyte has a better record and a resume than Deontay Wilder as of now. You think about it. Yeah, he's going to fight Tyson Fury. That's a good fight on paper. You know what I mean? So yeah, you have Luis Ortiz, you have Tyson Fury on your resume now. But other than that, that's only two people. You know what I mean? Dillian Whyte, he's fought Tarkham, he's fought he's fought Chisora, he's fought Joshua. You know what I mean? So yeah, he's fought Parker. Look, he has a better resume. You know what I mean? And it's imperative for a person. It's crazy for a person to think, just because I fight one dude and me being the WBC champ, and then he really didn't fight anyone to get that belt. He fought Stavern. Stavern ain't nobody. You know what I mean? Stavern, who did Stavern beat? See, it's still a building process that has to be developed. Just because you have 40 fights, you fight 39 nobodies. I repeat, you fight 39 nobodies. And you feel that you have no reason to keep building your resume. See, Deontay Wilder, and I guess it worked for his behalf because he's getting a fight with Tyson Fury. But it's basically Tyson Fury called out Deontay Wilder. Okay, it wasn't the other way around. Tyson Fury said, hey, I'll take this fight for the British fans. So it wasn't because he was looking for Tyson Fury. You know what I mean? Tyson Fury stepped to him and he just replied, okay, now this fight's happening. It made official yesterday. It just did a video on it. But, the thing is, I don't see any reason for him to duck Dillian Whyte, because he still needs to prove himself as a heavyweight WBC champion, to me, in my opinion, because yeah, I think he could beat him, but I think he still needs that type of fight. He still needs to be tested in different ways. You don't fight one guy, then, hey, all of a sudden I'm the man. I want 50-50. I want this. I want that. You know what I mean? I want all I want everything. I want all the concessions, and I want this, and I want you to fight here. And no, I don't agree with that. Not saying I don't think he could win. That it doesn't have anything to do with him winning or not. It's a thing of him fighting a certain caliber of fighters and get a certain amount of fighters behind him to show for his resume, to even build up the idea of him wanting more in a fight with Anthony Joshua, his rival. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to do something. That's like Nike and Reebok. You know what I'm saying? Like Nike is killing Reebok, and Reebok is like, oh, well, hey, I don't do anything near your sales, but then at the same time, I'm figuring that, I need just as much revenue as you, and I did less sales. You know what I mean? That's a poor analogy, but still, Wilder, still feels that, he's going to get more money, and it depends on how this fight's going to be. It could happen like that, but, again, the significance of this video is Dillian Whyte went into his cell phone, new media, okay, technology of today, and showed this was the Zone commercial, and this was an interview rather, and he showed people that what Deontay Wilder said in the video, in the message. He showed the message to the public. You know what I'm saying? So that's what Deontay Wilder's boss could have done if he had this type of evidence, right? You know what I mean? This is an example of things you do when you have the capability to do that. If you had it, you would show it like Dillion Whyte did it. That's what I'm saying. And then, so there's also an example of how new media and things can change rapidly just from technology at your fingertips versus, what used to be what you could do versus what you said you could do and you don't produce. You know what I mean? Yeah. Deontay Wilder ducked Dillian Whyte because maybe it was, and I don't really understand why he didn't do it. I mean, I hope he's getting the money for this fight. This is going to be his biggest payday, no doubt about it. You know what I mean? And the negotiations with Anthony Joshua increased his profile tenfold. People start taking notice of who he really was. People didn't even know who he was for a long time. If you weren't in the boxing scene, okay, now people are learning. So yeah, he had a late start. This is true. He had a late start in boxing, but I just don't agree with fighters that beat one fight or beat one fighter, and then now they feel that I'm equal with the next guy. That's what I don't get. And that while that next guy has fought 4 or 5 different fighters to prove himself where he is today. So that's me wrapping it up with this. Of course, you guys, please subscribe. I'm going to leave that source below to show so you guys can see this video also. Leave your comments, and you guys been counterpunched. Peace.